Hello, I'm Dr. Stan Hibbs, a psychologist in Atlanta, and I'd like to talk to you for just a moment about a variety of OCD called bad thought or mental OCD. When we think of OCD, we usually think of people who wash their hands too much or check door locks too much or rearrange their items obsessively. However, there's a kind of OCD that's sometimes even more of a problem. We call this bad thought OCD. These are people who have bad thoughts that they find abhorrent. Now, it turns out we all have bad thoughts all the time. But if you're prone to OCD, you tend to take your bad thoughts too seriously. You attribute too much importance to them. You think somehow they define you when they really don't. Often this type of OCD revolves around three topics that are very emotionally charged: violence, sex, and religion. Let's talk about violence. You will see individuals who are very kind, soft-spoken, peace-loving, have no wish to harm anyone, but somehow, somewhere along the line, a bad thought popped into their head and they took it too seriously. Now they're worried that somehow, deep inside, they're a serial killer or some sort of violent person. How do I know that someday I won't lose control and snap and kill a lot of people? We also see OCD issues around sex. Again, these are people who have certain moral standards about how they want to conduct themselves sexually, yet somehow they're afraid that deep inside they're a child molester or a rapist, or maybe that they'll be unfaithful to their partner. And finally, we see OCD symptoms having to do with religion. These are people who want to practice their faith, but their religion, rather than being a source of comfort and guidance, is a source of agony. They worry so much about thinking and doing the wrong thing. Maybe I don't pray the right way. Maybe I've committed the unpardonable sin. I worked with a young man who was afraid to pray, and he really wanted to pray. But every time he prayed, he kept having to add things. He never felt like he prayed enough. So he was basically praying all day. Another young man was afraid to read anything, because what if he read it and he had an opinion, and somehow God would disapprove of his opinion? We call this kind of religious and morally based OCD scrupulosity. Fortunately, exposure and response prevention therapy for OCD works very well with these patients. What we do is coach them not to resist or fight against their thoughts, but we coach them to embrace them and accept them. And when they do so, their thoughts lose their power and they overcome the problem. So if you or someone you know has this kind of OCD, I urge you to seek help, but be sure you see someone with experience in treating OCD. A good resource is the website of the International OCD Foundation. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, my contact information is on the screen.